whatever you want to call me. I thought I'd go live for a little under half an hour here, talk about stuff that I've been doing, stuff that's upcoming, and just to chat to people that are on YouTube at this time of day. So, uh, yeah, I have not been crazy active or as active as I want to be, although I'm probably um, more active right now than a lot of people. You just kind of go through phases of YouTube videos, etc. Excuse me. Um, but got a lot of collaborative videos happening. Um, Several series that I'm in the midst of, several that I'm kind of putting out whenever I feel like it, and have a very exciting potential uh, video coming up very very soon that I won't say anything about who it is or what what the contents are, I guess, other than the fact that uh, I have a interview lined up tomorrow with somebody that I'm very excited to talk to, and should be a fun time for a uh, pre-recorded video that I'm going to have out whenever I get the go ahead on that. So stay tuned for that. Again, I'm doing something really cool with that tomorrow. And if you don't know, I've posted on my community channel a few different weeks. I am part of a collaboration on Massey's Main Entertainment. Brian, me, him, and then our buddy Doc, who doesn't have a channel, though he should. We are going decade by decade talking about our uh, really not 10 favorite albums of the decade, but we're kind of doing a snake draft style of video where we have um, song or albums that we've kind of written down on a list. We go through it. Brian has set it up where it's a different guy every week, starting it off, finishing it off. So you kind of have the snake draft where the 1 and 3 spots, they kind of get the back to back picks. We've done the 60s through the 2000s. This week we're filming the 2010, so 2010 through 2019. Should be cool. I don't know if we're doing like a condensed 2020s video, but go on my community page. You will see all of the previous videos on there. I have them saved on my collaboration playlist if you want to watch those, and go subscribe to Brian's channel as well. But that's a really cool thing that is happening right now. I see I have a few people on. Hello, anybody and everybody that are watching. Again, just kind of talking until about almost 2:30 my time. I'm taking a 30-minute lunch break right now, and I'm just kind of jawing away at whatever comes to mind. But I'm also, again, to kind of do the shameless plugs here at the top. I am doing a series with Brian Massey from Massey's Main Entertainment on my channel, again with the hope of doing further collaborations with Brian as well as other people in my YouTube sphere. Brian and I are doing an album swap about every 2 weeks or so, where we each pick an album for the other guy, have a couple weeks to listen to it, take notes, let it sink in, and then we come out together, talk about the record that the other guy gave us, give a tentative ranking of some kind, and then we present each other with a new album for the next week. And the album that Brian is currently listening to is this one. This is a band called Chime School out of San Francisco, I believe. They are a great kind of not a nostalgia band. It's a bad word. It makes them sound like they're copycats, but heavily influenced by you know the Byrds, REM, The Cure. Very jangly kind of sounds. Very kind of Laurel. This is the most recent record, "The Boy Who The Boy Who Ran the Paisley Hotel." Very very cool record from 2024. So I've given this to Brian. He's listening to this and is going to let me know what he thinks. I know a few of my friends have taken me up on checking these guys out. I did a kind of an artist spotlight episode on Chime School. I have this. I have their um, Lone 45 here coming to your town, and then I have their self-titled Chime School here, all on Slumberland Records. They're all fantastic, very easy listens in terms of, you're not going to be overwhelmed. They're not huge 45-minute, hour long records. They're 30 something minutes each, and you can kind of take it in, especially if you like that kind of jingle jangle pop sound, 60s sound, birds, REM. Um, just really, really cool production. But so that's what Brian's listening to this week. So it's gonna be good. Again, I'm really excited. I'm listening to oh, excuse me. Oh, I had a long weekend, good weekend, but long, lots of activity. I'm listening to The Bends by Radiohead. Now, I'll admit I haven't listened to it yet. I've never listened to more than a song or two by Radiohead. Was never really blown away by anything that I heard Tom York do. I know that they're well respected, and I know people probably come at me for, not saying, oh, Radiohead's one of the better bands of the last 25, 30 years. I don't know a lot of their stuff. But anyway, so that's what we're listening to. Again, Radiohead and Chime School. So that'll be kind of cool um, to, again, get a Radiohead album under my belt. But as I mentioned, I don't know who's coming in and out. Say hello in the chat. I'll be happy to, um, you know, say hello to you from here. And again, yeah, I have a really cool project or a really cool opportunity that's kind of quickly come up that I'm going to do tomorrow. An interview. And hey, Zach, there you go. Glad to see you, Zach. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Um, Not sure if you did a March Madness bracket or not. I was doing very, very well, and I know Zach's a sports guy. We and him have been on a fantasy football team at one point, or a league, I should say. My fantasy March Madness team, up until the Sweet 16, was like top 360,000, something like that. It was like the 99th percentile, and now I am, um, fingers crossed that Florida wins the next games because they're the only team. Oh, excuse me. Um, they're the only team that I have left that I'm picking to win. Um, I picked Alabama to win the other night. They lost to Duke pretty handily, and Houston I have losing as well. So hey, Randall Nelson, everybody, go check out Randy's channel as well. That's exactly what Brian said, Randy, that it's the most accessible of the Radiohead records. I do have OK Computer, which was given to me by somebody in the VC. I don't remember who it was. It very well could have been Steve. It maybe it could have been JT from JT's Record Room. I am not 100% sure. Zach says he was out of his bracket. Basketball's not really one of my sports. I hope we can be in the fantasy. Yeah, fantasy league. Yeah, it's. I know it's hard to get a bunch of people together for a draft. That's the big thing is the draft. Um, but I'm always looking for uh, people in the league that I do with my buddies that I know from around here. So if I'm ever, needing an extra person, that sort of thing, I will let you know. We usually just do like, a $10 Venmo, and it's kind of winner take all. So I mean, you're maxing out maybe like $90 you'll win like $90. So, um, yeah. I mean, again, I'm not even like a big watching season. Like, I don't watch sports throughout the whole season. The only time that I really did that was the Patriots, and they have really been letting me down the last 4 years or so. And yeah, it's hard to follow that kind of. That's a lot of time to put into something that you're just gonna end up losing, when I'd rather be listening to records or playing guitar and that sort of thing. That's another thing that I should say. I feel like, was there something else? No. Not that this is relevant to YouTube or anything like that, but I am playing a gig on Saturday with a group that I played with back in November. It's only our second gig, and we're playing a double birthday party. It's a private party, and it's for a 60-year-old and a 70-year-old, a joint birthday party. And they were kind of just like, it's a coworker of the singer of the band, and they're just like, yeah, pretty much whatever y'all want to do, we just think it'll be cool to have you. He doesn't know anything about anything. Like, if we're gonna eat, how the setup is exactly. It's gonna be one of those situations where we're all gonna go into it kind of blind. But we're playing for several hours that on this Saturday coming up. So anyway, that's going to be exciting. We have our last practice before the gig. We have that tomorrow, and I've got to string up some mandolin strings because sorry with the yawn. Oh, excuse me. I got to string up some mandolin strings because we're doing a few. I mean, it's all, we're mostly doing acoustic, even though we played electric the last gig, but we've kind of figured out, we don't want to scare people by walking in with electric guitars. We think that we can, you know, um, we think that we can maybe get more gigs with acoustic guitars, playing still rock songs, and our singer has a lot of cool effects and things on his acoustic guitar. He's a great lead guitar player, very much influenced by Jerry Garcia and Eric Clapton, and I'm playing rhythm guitar so that he can do his cool licks. And with that, I'm also playing, rhythm mandolin, that sort of thing. A few background vocals, but he's a great singer, and I know my limits, so letting him do his thing. But yeah, let's see. Um, yeah, again, as I mentioned, I have the collaboration with Brian Massey on his channel with the uh, uh, draft, the decades draft, where we're doing 60s through at least the 2010s. Again, I'm not sure what we're gonna do after this final episode. So, um, yeah, Randy's always one of the good ones to comment and give us his list. The 2000s was interesting. I mean, I probably do it like a lot of people, where like I think about my favorite artists first, and then obviously try to figure out what albums they released in a certain decade. So whether that's you know Van Morrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, John Prine, newer bands like the Avett Brothers, Head and the Heart. I go through all them first, see what I can knock out decade wise of like my favorites. I'm like, okay, that's definitely going to be on my list, and then from there, um, kind of just look over my, scan my collection. I'm like, oh, I forgot about that one. And if I'm really struggling, I'll go on Google and look up, top selling albums or top albums of the decade. But the issue with that is that I really only care about the top selling albums of the decade up until like the 80s. And then after that, it's all very specific taste. It's not necessarily radio friendly. And I say radio friendly, I mean it wasn't like what the pop market was promoting. So, I'm not going to look up top selling albums of the 2000s and expect to see, a Paul Simon record. I'm not going to look up the best selling albums of 2020, the 2020s, and see, an album by the Wood Brothers. Like I've got to kind of balance, what I'm looking up versus what I know I like. And that's been the big thing. But no, it was a fun video with Brian and Doc. We did that on Thursday. We recorded it Thursday, and Brian just posted it this afternoon. So always exciting to see what the other two guys are going to come up with, and just a lot of fun. I love both those guys. And again, I'm also doing the record swap, the album swap on my channel with Brian Massey from Massey's Man Entertainment, going through albums that we've chosen for the other guy, giving it a rating, giving it honest opinions. I mean, we're not, neither one of us are saying like that every album that the other guy gave us is it's like, oh, it's a breath of fresh air, it's a mind-blowing album. We are very much honest with one another, and honest with the fact that not all this stuff is our style, and we're kind of trying to stretch the other guy. I mean, the last video we did, I gave Brian The Devil Makes Three, their debut, which is they're kind of like a string band, like punk kind of thing. I mean, you look at the three members, they've got their piercings and their tattoos, and they look like they're part of like a punk band, and they all have those kind of roots as part of their lyrical tone, but they're doing it with a banjo, guitar, and a stand-up bass. So they're kind of stretching that limit of like, oh, does punk music have to just be minute and a half heavy guitar chords, fast strumming, all that stuff? It can be played with any instrument. I mean, you can play punk music on a concert piano. You can play punk music on a harmonica. You don't have to just play it with like a four-piece electric band in a smelly dive bar. That you don't have to. So I mean, that was out of Brian's wheelhouse to take that record, but he chose it. I mean, I gave him three or four other options, and that's the one that he chose. So, and that's kind of why I went with the Bends for Radiohead, because one of the records that Brian gave me was Sting, his debut, and I was like, I know what I'd be getting into with Sting. I knew the song "Love Is the Seventh Wave," so like I was like going into it already with like a knowledge of at least a track. That was the only one that came on my head. I don't even know if I know other songs on that album. I'm sure I do. I'm trying to remember. If I Ever Lose My Faith in You on that one, I'm not. I don't remember. Is that Sting? Or is it the Police? I don't know. So anyway, let me see. I'm trying to think of like upcoming videos. So yeah, obviously I'm recording again with Brian and Doc later this week. Glenn, what's going on, my brother up there in that great white north basement? Randy, I have not. No, this weekend I was, I'm just now catching up on YouTube videos from over the weekend. Comments I was able to keep up with, but yeah, this past weekend, I was with my fiance. She was here. Actually, just left about an hour or so ago. She's on. She was off today, so we were looking up like wedding cake flavors and doing that sort of thing this weekend. We had a family gathering yesterday, and just haven't had time to listen to. I haven't really listened to any music in terms of like a full length record since Friday, which is a long time for me. I start feeling antsy if I haven't done it yet. But yeah, future videos. None of these, I haven't recorded any extra videos. Like I don't have like this back catalog of videos. I don't generally like to do that unless I know that I'm going to be gone for like a week. In which case, I don't want my channel to sit dormant for an extended period of time. But let me think. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do. There's a contest for Adam over at What the Gym. Great young guy who has an animal related contest. A pretty good prize. I think it's like 50 pounds, or like the equivalent of 50 UK pounds. So I'm gonna do Adam's contest for sure. I need to jump on that. I've got March vinyl finds, which I guess I'll probably record that actually tonight because it's the last day of March. So I need to do a vinyl finds, music finds video, even though I think it's all music with the exception of like a CD. And gonna do that. And again, I got this kind of exciting collaboration that is happening tomorrow that I will learn tomorrow when I'll post that and get that out to you all when I do. So I'm very excited for this opportunity that's come up, and I'm excited for you all to watch it. I think it's going to be a really cool conversation. And yeah, so that's 3 videos. Brian and I should be um, looking at doing our album swap next week, maybe early next week. So 3 or 4 videos I know that I have coming up in the next few days, and then if the urge strikes me, if there's any kind of like cool announcement of any artists in my wheelhouse, I will definitely try to get that out to you all. I keep wanting to do a review of this album, though I've only listened to it one and a half times, so I really need to think, am I going to put out. I'm so sorry about the yawn. Man. If I'm going to do a review on Benmont Tench's album, The Melancholy Season, on Dark Horse Records. Obviously, Benmont Tench, keyboardist of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, original member. He was also in Mudcrutch with Tom Petty. He's played with Stevie Nicks, the Eagles, various solo projects. He's played with the Avett Brothers, and every now and then shows up with Mike Campbell still on Dirty Knobs albums. Dirty Knobs being Mike Campbell's now main project after Tom Petty's tragic passing in 2017. So that's a record. That Benmont Tench one is one that I really want to kind of dive into more before I make any kind of video. Again, if I decide to make a video, I mean that album's already probably 4 weeks old or something like that now. So we'll see. At the end of the day, I like doing the videos that I like doing. I also know that my videos aren't exactly view catchers, so I'm not in this major rush to get a video out to try to get all these views, because it's my channel is just not one of those channels that people are finding in the algorithm, because I'm not talking about the big. I'm not talking about the big artists, and that's okay, because I would get bored talking about one artist all the time. I love those channels because those are my go-to channels when I have a question on something, like Bob Dylan channels, Beatles channels. I'm sure that there are Tom Petty channels that I don't know, jazz channels, but I just love so much music. I'm okay with talking about the speaking of Beatles. I'm okay talking about the half-speed master of Venus and Mars by Paul McCartney and Wings, but I'm also very excited to talk about this band that nobody's heard of, Chime School. So it's you kind of have to weigh the options. When do you meet the devil at the crossroads and say I'm wanting to trade the music that I like for the music that the people want. That's I mean, I had the same mindset with my gigs that I play live, my solo gigs, where I could play Brown Eyed Girl and Piano Man and that stuff like that, but I would get bored of it, and I would rather play deep cut John Prine and Tom Waits songs. I really enjoy it. Rob, in the corporate world, we have a lunch break, so I'm actually at the tail end. I need to clock off. I'm almost at my 30-minute mark. I started this a little bit after 2, so I haven't been on for quite 30 minutes, but I've got to hit the punch here in just a second. But Adam, my favorite solo Beatles album is actually probably Venus and Mars, I think. I like Venus and Mars a little bit more than Band on the Run, probably because of just the overplaying of a lot of their songs on Band on the Run. Um, but yeah, and that's and Glenn, it is a really good, it is a really good. Who in the heck is Bobachet? Sorry, I don't know who that is. Uh, yeah, it's a great cut. Actually, it's the first that I've purchased in the Half Speed series, this Venus and Mars. So I listened to it the other day and I really enjoyed it. But um, yeah, that's why I don't know, because not only do I not uh, know baseball players, I don't watch baseball because I would rather take a fork in the eye. Uh, that was mostly for Rob because he always dogs on me for Bob Dylan. But anyway, I need to go, everybody. Thank you all for watching. Everybody, I appreciate it. Sorry that I can't go longer, but you know, I've gotta I've gotta earn the few bucks that I make. So anyway, I will talk to you all later. Hopefully, maybe I can do this some other time. But I really appreciate you all watching. Stay tuned for some cool stuff from my channel. For real, I'm very excited about tomorrow. Y'all be good. Take care. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.